Okay, so I'm here today chatting with Saeda. Saeda's in Gaza, is that right, Saeda?
Yes.
Yes. Can you just tell us a little bit about your working environment, where you're working, and what kind of patients that you're working with?
Okay, so I'm working with the ICRC, supporting the Artificial Limb and Polio Center in Gaza. It's the only center providing prosthetic and orthotic and physiotherapy rehabilitation for the people with disability in Gaza. So I'm working always with the physiotherapist in a multidisciplinary team with an orthopedic consultant and also a technician, prosthetist and orthotist. So we have Sunday and Wednesday every week to have a multidisciplinary team consultation for the patients. So every Sunday and Wednesday, we have a list of patients where we can sit together with the multidisciplinary team, assessing patients, and then we direct them to the services and include them in the system, in the ALBC. We sit together, and once we assess the patient, let's say an example of amputee, because this course regarding amputee. So we see the amputee, and then the doctor with the technician and with the physio, we direct him to the physiotherapy to receive pre-prosthetic rehabilitation, because the patients will have edema or contracture or neuroma or weakness. So it's a brief assessment for him in the clinic, and then the doctor directs him to the physio department where he goes there, and then the physio takes him to have a proper assessment, like 1 hour assessment, to identify the problems of the patient in general, whether he has stump needs some management and general endurance for the patients. So it takes and then the physio plan his treatment for the patient, where the patients will come like 3 sessions per week to have pre-prosthetic rehabilitation. So it will take it depends on the level of amputation, if he's transtibial or transfemoral, or the age as well. So it takes from 1 month to 2 months, depends on the level and the age for pre-prosthetic rehabilitation. Once the patient is ready to be casted, so the physio will book for him appointment with the MDT clinic Sunday or Wednesday. Then the physio with his patients will go to this clinic, and there they can assess him if he's ready to be casted or not. Once he's
So it
yeah.
takes quite a long time to go from when they first come to see you to when they get their prosthesis fitting. I didn't realise it was that long. So 1 to 2 months, you say?
Yeah, 1 to 2, depend on. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. Depend on, because with, for example, old age, and the endurance, and they are in the bed all the time, coming with the wheelchair, it takes time for them. And if it's bilateral amputees, it takes. That's why this is the average. But for young adult, it's more or less 1 month. Yeah. Okay, so once he's assessed in the clinic and the doctor with the MDT clinic sees him that he's ready to be casted, then he will go to the fitting procedures, and then for getting training after fitting. So this is the whole summarized picture about the rehabilitation of amputees in the ALBC.
That's really interesting. So it takes 1 to 2 months is the average that it takes, and in that time, in those 1 to 2 months, what are the most important things that you do with the patients to prepare them for their prosthetic fitting?
Yeah, the most important thing, the assessment, and then the pre-prosthetic rehabilitation. It's a stump management, it's contractures, adherent scar, neuroma, muscle weakness, phantom pain, sensations, all these issues.
If you were if you were teaching young physiotherapists that hadn't had any experience of treating amputees, what would you say to them is the most important thing for them, or techniques or knowledge to have to manage an amputee patient, before they have their prosthesis fitted?
In the pre-prosthetic period, right? First of all, to know the stump management techniques, like how to overcome edema, adherent scars, neuroma, phantom pain, and also then to come to the joint range of motion, how to overcome contractures, yeah, and also home exercise program. It's very important for them to give to the patient and to understand when the patients will be ready to be casted. They have to understand the criteria when to refer the patients for the fitting, and also to understand the MDT dynamics.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the criteria for sending the patient for their fitting, what is that criteria? What should the physio be looking out for?
First of all, to look at the stump. So the measurement of the stump, it should be stable. So they have here in the ARBC, we have the stump circumference card, where each session they register the stump circumference. So once they see it's stable, then they will identify this stump is ready to be casted. So this is one of the criteria that we have, and also the range of motion is also another criteria. So the criteria here in the LBC that less than in the hip joint, less than 15 hip flexion deformity for short stump, and 5 degree, less than 5 degree in the long stump. And for the knee joint, less than 20 knee flexion for the short stump, and less than 5 degree for the long stump.
That's the contracture, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the technician, this is the ideal criteria. Of course, there is exceptions, but this is the ideal criteria. They have to look into this criteria. Yeah, and the muscle grade to be 4 and above for the lower limb. 4 and above. This is, of course, there is exceptions, and it needs to be discussed in the MDT. So whenever the physio bring the patient to the MDT clinic, they have to discuss, okay, this is exception because he's old age, or because we cannot take more than this. So we have, during the pre-prosthetic period, we have a follow-up sheet where they can register the progress of the outcome of the treatment, and the indicators to be taken into consideration for the patients to be ready for casting. And also it's we have also the criteria for the patient to also like, for example, for TF amputees, they should stand on the sound leg for, let's say, for more than or 10 minutes at least, to be ready for casted, because the technician should ask the patient to stand then to properly cast the patients before. So this is also a criteria for the physiotherapist to take into consideration.
Excellent. So that's really good. That's really good advice. So the criteria, we're looking at a stable stump, good range of movement, within those contracture limits, good muscle strength, and also good function of the good leg as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's good. Well, great. Well, that's been really good advice, a good knowledge for the participants of the course. Is there anything else you'd like to add at this stage?
Yes. Look, after the completion of the assessment of the patient initially before pre-prosthetic rehabilitation, they should understand how to put the plan of action or the plan of treatment, based on the expected outcome they would like to see in the future for this patient. Because I experienced, for example, one or some of the physios, they do pre-prosthetic fitting for the patient, pre-prosthetic, and at the end he's not ready to be fit, or he's unfit for prosthesis. So they should understand from the beginning or from the initial assessment that this patient would be unfit for prosthesis. So they have to change their plan of the treatment from there. not to waste the time and give the patient the hope to be fitted, and at the end, no, sorry, we cannot fit you. So they have to give a realistic approach for the patients from the beginning.
Yeah, that's a really important consideration, to think about the ultimate functional outcomes for the patient and how you should integrate that into their treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be included in after the assessment in the same assessment, let's say, form, where they can say the initial assessment outcome, and then the pre-fitting, or I don't know what they will call it, because if he will be fitted, then it's pre-fitting. If he will be fitting, so there is a plan for something else. It might be how to maybe transfer from bed to, the goal of the treatment will be different than refitting rehabilitation.
Good. Well, that's really good advice. Really, really helpful. I hope everyone is going to enjoy listening to you and your knowledge. So thank you very much, and thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you very much.